Bright suns and rising moons, everyone, and welcome to the show. We are back, and yeah, we're here on a Sunday night again because we both had stuff going on last night.
Oh yeah.
Um, Faye was doing medieval shit in the woods.
This time medieval shit in my woods. We had
Yeah,
my household come over for melee practice and we did not sleep much.
fair, fair, fair. Um, and then I was just exhausted from coming back from Florida because that auto train kicked my ass. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And I'll get more into that here in just a little bit. But yeah, we're back. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Um, especially with things going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
Um, that we need to talk about. But we also have a few other things, a few other news things to get to. And Faye is also going to be talking about Dragon Con. Um, so, yeah, even though that was like a month ago. Uh,
It's sort of like your Dragon Con always ends up lasting longer because the cosplayers get super excited. Like you,
mhm,
it's not over until I actually do the recap, and so
yeah.
we've just been extending it so that way I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like I'm at Dragon Con still.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I'm still seeing people talk about the con.
Oh,
Like,
oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know Matt, Ancient Armory, he was there as well. Um,
I
I
hope that I did not like. I hope he wasn't one of the guys I just like walk past as like, are those boots by Bohemond? Because that happened like at least 3 times, and I was not looking at faces. I was looking at shoes.
it's fine. Um, I think he was there. He told me he was going, but
I don't know. I would.
I don't know.
I
I
was
have to look
be
at his
really
socials.
embarrassed if I saw him and just did not recognize him because
It's fine. It's
when I
probably his
do not have
birthday.
these on, I this is how close I can see.
No, yeah. No, I get it. I get it. He was in full Roman garb too,
I
like he
recognize
normally is.
reenactors in their kit better than I do in modern clothes.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Um, but we'll talk about that soon.
Yeah.
But before we dive into that and our announcements, we want to share a few thoughts about what is going on in the world. Um,
Yeah.
are you good if I go first?
I am all good if you go first.
Okay, cool. This past week, Jimmy Kimmel was pulled off the air by ABC and Disney due to some comments that were made. And there was also pressure from the FCC as well as the Sinclair Group and Nexstar, which are two of the biggest ABC affiliate ownership companies. Um, he was pulled off the air because of some comments he stated in his opening monologue about the events that happened a couple of weeks ago in Utah. I don't really want to talk about that.
Hmm.
Um, but during his opening monologue, he made a few jokes, and apparently people were pissed off about that, including the Sinclair Group. So there was a lot of pressure on ABC and Disney to pull him off the air. They've suspended him indefinitely, but he is in talks right now to they're in talks to get him reinstated and to restart his show. Sinclair Group wants an apology from him and all of these other things, and we'll get to that here in just a second. Um, but for those of you that are wondering how we are still talking about Star Wars, which is an entity now owned by Disney and has been for about 10 years, 10 plus years now, um, we are here to celebrate Star Wars. We're here to celebrate the creators and these stories, um, and also to provide an escape for you all.
Hmm.
while also trying to make things relevant for what is going on in our society today. Um, we want to shed light and joy in these dark times because they are very uncertain.
Yeah. It
Yeah, go
is
ahead.
definitely like one of those moments where we remember that Star Wars is a war protest.
Yeah,
Star Wars is something that can be used and has been used to talk about what is currently happening in US politics
yeah,
in a way that is a little bit easier to understand. And this is why we have a really great works of ha- like examples of how to start and like how organizations and rebellions begin
yeah.
with pieces like Andor.
Hmm.
And so continuing to talk about Star Wars and use this very popular media to talk about politics and show other forms of thought is one of the most important things to like do right now.
Hmm. Exactly. We don't condone the decisions made by ABC and Disney. We do not condone them at all.
Mm-mm.
Um, but I'm going to say this right now. There are there are two people that I know that work for the company. I'm not going to say their names because they do not need to. You don't need to know their names. Um, they are upset right now because of what the company did. However, I'm going to say this right now. If you feel that you need to cancel your Disney Plus, go ahead. Go ahead. If you want to boycott Disney and ABC by canceling your Disney Plus, go ahead. If you want to cancel your Disney vacations, your Disney cruise line trips, go ahead. Do it. You have our support with that.
Yep.
Um, I'm going to say this right now though. Never ever go after any Disney cast members. Do not do that. Do not go after the hardworking people at Disney that have nothing to do with this. Don't do it. Don't do it. The people in the parks and in the hotels and on the cruise lines and that work behind the scenes at Disney Plus, they get enough crap as it is from customers that they don't need this either. So
Mhm.
please, let's be respectful of those of the hardworking cast members that are still there that share the values that we share.
The bigger pressure should be on talking about the FCC and
Yeah,
this as a violation of the First Amendment.
yeah, exactly.
This goes against the First Amendment. It is contrary to the Communications Act.
Hmm.
It is something that there was intense pressure from the
Yeah,
government that was in violation of several rights.
yeah. And here's the thing: Kimmel has every right to sue the FCC right now.
Yep.
He has every right to sue the FCC, and I'm pretty sure he would win if he did sue the FCC because that is a violation of the First Amendment and the
Hmm.
Media Act. Um, I'm hoping that this decision gets reversed because I would love to see Jimmy Kimmel continue to do what he's been doing for a number of years now with this talk show. It's very popular. People really enjoy it. I was on one of the streaming services earlier today, and it's one of the most searched things
Yeah.
on the services right now. So, um, you know, and he's got a hardworking staff too. His writing staff, his camera staff, all of the people that work on his show. So,
Yeah.
um, I will say this: if you didn't watch Colbert and Stewart,
Oh my god.
oh, you,
Yeah, I will say I do think the funniest solution for this would be if Kimmel just gets hosted on Dropout instead, because Dropout cast member Lou Wilson is also one of his crew.
oh yeah, yeah. I would. Well, they've also said like Colbert and Stewart both have an opportunity to just step out for like a night and have Kimmel host like both shows.
Exactly.
Yeah, 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 and it would be great. It would be great.
It would be great.
Yeah, but Stewart did a administrative compliant daily show where he talked about free speech, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And then Colbert went full Colbert Report from like the early 2000s. It was great.
I love when he gets to do his Colbert Report.
It's so funny. He came out and he's like, "Nation, Daddy's home," and and then
I had just blocked that from my memory.
he, and then he's talking about how the country needs to drop trow, bend over, and let him spank freedom into everybody. It was great. It was so funny because it's Colbert. It's what Colbert did for a number of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, like that line read perfect for Peacemaker.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely,
Peacemaker
absolutely.
season 1 is just like
Yeah.
that's his bedroom talk.
Oh, without a doubt. Um, for those of you wondering where we're going to go with our content, um, we've been talking about this a lot.
Yeah.
This is something that, I mean, we're still going to cover Star Wars because it's important. It's important. Um, However, we are going to cover more nerdy topics for a while.
Yeah.
You know, because this is kind of sore for us right now.
I don't think anyone understands how angry I was initially.
Oh,
Even you like saw a very muted level of like
hmm
my actual like discussion on this. Uh so instead we want to not let this taint something that we really enjoy,
yeah,
and especially right now it's important to find joy in things because the news sucks.
yeah, it does. Try being in the parks reading that news.
Yeah.
I was at Epcot the night that I saw that it was happening. Like I was in the bubble. Yeah.
I
Yep.
was I was in my sword and start going at a pell about it.
Yeah. Um Also, I just want to say real quick, while I was on vacation, thank you for keeping up with the news like while I was gone because it was great. It was great. So thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I do keep Twitter open. Do I read it often? No.
No. But you were like posting in Discord and like a
Yeah.
few other places. Like that was very very helpful as somebody that was on vacation and everything. I'm going to say this right now. Um I'm never taking that auto train ever again.
Planes and cars it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My wife and I have already decided that either if we want to go on a road trip to Florida, we'll drive,
Yeah.
or we will just fly again
Mhm.
because it was a unique experience. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Understandable.
Um, but I will say this: no having to go through metal detectors or anything in the train station. So that was very nice.
But then you don't have the comedy of like bringing a slightly oversized prop in through airport security and just
True.
kind of handing it to some poor employee and just saying, I don't think it's going to fit through the x ray. You might need to scan it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, the oversized things were in the car,
Yeah.
which was nice. I mean, it was nice having the car there. Like you load it up on the train and then you have it and you don't have to worry about rentals and all that other stuff. A unique experience that you never want to experience again. Yeah, true.
Yeah. Yeah.
True. True, true, true. I will say this though. Amtrak has really damn good steaks on their trains.
Hmm.
They have a really damn good steak.
I might get the chance next to try them when they finally finish that train from that goes from Oklahoma City down to Houston, because
Yeah.
I make that trip so frequently that it would be so nice to just kind of not drive it.
Yeah. Oh, ho I get it. I get
I,
it.
I become a different person on the stretch between Ardmore, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma City.
No, I get it because you're like right there towards the end of your trip and
It's right in the end of the trip. You were on 35 and have been on 35 for like 5 hours at that point. It sucks.
yeah, no, I get you. I get you. Um, yeah, I will be sharing the goodies that I picked up on my trip in Discord later after
Hmm.
the show, so be prepared for that. And I'll be sharing more stories from the trip in Discord, so join our Discord.
Yeah.
Um, all right. A couple of quick announcements, and then we're going to dive into the news and then our main topics for the evening. No live show October 18th due to Baltimore Comic Con. I'm pushing the RPG show to the next week. I'm going to talk to the players. Now that I'm
Hmm.
back from vacation, I'll talk to the players this week, make sure that we're locked in for that, and then we'll get going on that, which I still need to work more on the stuff. Um, Farpoint 2026. We have two Farpoint announcements. It's 130 days away now. So get your tickets, get your hotel rooms.
Hmm.
And they just announced two new guests. We have Jeff Klein, who worked on GI Joe animated stuff as well as Transformers. He was Bumblebee in Transformers Prime.
Hmm.
And we got Ross Marquand coming. He was Red Skull. He in Infinity War and Doomsday. He's been in The Walking Dead. He's the Immortal in Invincible, and he's my boy Professor Charles Xavier in X-Men '97. So yeah. Um, shall we get to the news?
It's fairly small news, but we
Yeah.
do have some of our first photos from production on Star Wars Starfighter, including this lovely shot of Ryan Gosling. And I am always forgetting the kid's name, so I'm double checking real quick.
Yeah. I gotta look that up real quick. Um,
It is
it
Flynn
is.
Gray.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling and Flynn Gray, just on it, it looks like some sort of speeder bike in the middle of the ocean. And
Yes.
all we have as description or context for this is somewhere in the Mediterranean, which is very, very evocative of that beginning of Top Gun, where it says somewhere in the Pacific Ocean
Oh
or
no,
somewhere
that
in the
was in the
Indian
Gulf.
Ocean.
Yeah, somewhere in the Indian Ocean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's the same cinematographer that did Top Gun Maverick doing
I
this.
know. It really looks like they're going to be doing some, at least maybe on the marketing side of things, doing a Top Gun comparison. Although Gosling himself does not look very starfighter-y in this. He's
No.
like this doesn't look like any sort of like uniform like uh, that we've seen. It looks a whole lot like what we see of civilian clothing, including some like little red piping on the pants. That's very like early Han Solo.
They could be on Corellia in this photo because we do know that Corellia had a lot of water.
Corellia had a lot of water. There are a lot of like very oceanic planets that we can see. Uh, I do think it would be fun to see a resistance reference in this,
Yes.
uh, but we don't know yet. It's way too early for any solid information, but I like that they give us this time to theorize.
Yes. Yeah, it looks great. That is going to be released in time for the 50th anniversary
Oh yeah,
of Star Wars, which I'm very excited for this movie. Very excited for this
same.
movie. Um, and if the cinematography is anything like Top Gun Maverick, we are in for a real treat.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
because Maverick was one of my Maverick's one of the most beautifully shot movies I've seen in a very long time. Especially with the fighter jet stuff. Yeah. Legacy Expo happened a couple of weeks ago. I was gonna look up news from that, but it was a celebration of the expanded universe. And they had some they had a bunch of EU writers,
Mhm.
Michael, like James Luceno showed up. They had like a big um anniversary panel for New Jedi Order, that book series, which I'm still only 3 books into. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Um, they talked about that. They talked about the Clone Wars novel series as well,
Mhm.
including the MedStar duology, which is a fantastic duology. Great series. Um, they talked about Mace Windu Shatterpoint, as well as Mace Windu the Glass Abyss, because they had the writer there for that, because he wrote another Star Wars book, and I can't remember which one he wrote. But it was an EU one.
Yeah. It's very funny. The only thing from Legacy Expo I've seen was about Henry Gilroy, and it was just like Henry Gilroy told me that Calazeb was canon.
Yeah,
All I saw from it.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Also, real quick in news, while we're talking about politics in Star Wars,
Mhm.
uh, Andor won an Emmy for Best Writing for an
Yeah,
episode.
specifically for Welcome to the Rebellion, where we're
Yeah.
dealing with the aftermath of Mon Mothma's speech about Gore with, how with the death of truth, it will be the death for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. And then Colbert won an Emmy. So
And then Colbert won an Emmy.
yeah, yeah. So but no, it was really cool. And Dan Gilroy won the Emmy for that. That was really cool, and really nice to see. Um
Very well deserved.
oh, Andor deserved everything at the Emmys, honestly. Um but I will say this. One of my favorite shows did win Best Drama, so I'm happy about that, and that was The Pit. The Pit won Best Drama,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
which if you've never watched The Pit, do yourself a favor and watch it.
Like,
It's
even if you
fantastic.
do not like medical dramas, like, it is beyond what you would see from anything like it. It is focused entirely on the pressures. Everything is
Yeah.
within I think it's the same 12-hour shift.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
a 12-hour shift.
and it like as someone who kind of grew up dealing with the stories from my mom, like after her 12-hour shifts, like it matches a whole lot with what I
Yeah.
have seen.
If any of you are familiar with 24, it's a similar structure to 24, where the events are occurring in real time,
Yeah.
as the shift is going on. But the Pit is it's such a great show.
Hmm.
And then the studio won Best Comedy, which the studio is actually pretty funny, so I'm happy about that. Um, all right, let's talk about. We have 3 main topics for you this evening.
It's gonna potentially be a long episode.
Yeah, one is very serious,
Yeah.
um, and then the other two are fun.
Yeah.
So, um, we got to talk about this because this is something that we've been wanting to talk about for a while, and that's politics in Star Wars. And Faye, I would love for you to start this conversation.
All right. Star Wars is like inherently political. I have mentioned many times, and like consecutively across my appearances here, that Star Wars is a Vietnam it's a Vietnam protest.
Yeah,
It is something that was a passion project that is meant to highlight the dangers of American imperialism and what like basically how America was in the wrong with how it handled that war.
Mhm.
Then we go into the prequels, which is also a criticism of American governments and all of the there's so much from like the Bush era administration that is being critiqued in that. And the tragedy is with the edit and especially the final edit that we get of that movie, a lot of those critiques get lost because 90% of the major like hardcore politics scenes are in those deleted scenes from Attack of the Clones.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
I, I did a rewatch with my roommates and essentially was like, we are not watching the cut that is on Disney Plus. I
Mhm.
have a special cut in my Google Drive that puts all of those deleted scenes into context,
Yeah.
and that's how I watch that movie.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it's the prequels are very political, and especially with the reflection on um what life was like in the early 2000s because um in 2001 we had 9/11 happen, and that was I will never forget that day. Um to this day, I'll never forget that day. And then at that point, we also had that's when we started the war on terror, and that's
Mhm.
when we also started Gulf War II or the Iraq War, in which you can clearly see that the Clone Wars was definitely a while Lucas had planned the Clone Wars for a while, and
Mm.
it was a Vietnam allegory as well in his head. It really reflected the decisions that were made by the United States and other countries to get involved in the Iraq War.
Yeah.
The second Iraq War, I should say, because Desert Storm was the first Iraq War.
Mm.
Um, and that was one of those things, and we saw a lot of politics behind it. There was a lot of pressure from both parties on whether or not to vote for war, and especially after 9/11. um, we
There was a lot of fear that led into basically garnering public support, and it
yeah,
shows how a whole lot of the interplay between politics and news media can
yeah.
really change how the public feels about sending their
hmm
family off to go fight.
yeah, I mean, and especially um, during that time right after 9/11, we were so concerned with terrorism, and we had this picture painted of terrorism as it's this one specific group of people doing this, and it's this one specific people that it's this one specific group of people that look like this that are doing this, when it's not. We have homegrown terrorists all the time. I mean, you look at what happened in Waco, you look at the Oklahoma City bombing, all of that.
The Unabomber.
The Unabomber,
Yeah.
absolutely. Homegrown terrorists, homegrown radicals. So we were at this point where there was so much uncertainty, but it was, hey, how's it going, Brennan? Um, where it was pointed at Muslims, it was pointed at Arabic people, it was pointed at people that use Islam as their religion. It was pointed at all of these people that had really nothing to do with this radical group of people that carried out those attacks on 9/11, other than their religion being Islam.
It definitely like when we want to talk about how Star Wars kind of wrote itself in a way to adjust to fit American politics,
Yeah.
that's how we see the like the explanation of how anti-alien the Empire is,
Yeah.
why most of the Confederacy planets are alien in order to
hmm
justify that and create a like us versus them dynamic
Yeah.
based off of appearances alone.
Yeah, and we're seeing that now, more
Yeah.
and more now. We're seeing that now with the weaponization of politics,
Mhm.
with political beliefs. Um, you have, um, you have this polarization going on right now between conservative mindset people and liberal mindset people, which if you look at it, most general conservatives and most general liberals just want to just come together and work together to solve these problems.
It's one of those, there is no middle ground anymore allowed in how we
Yeah.
discuss politics, and it's one of those moments where a lot of the time it's like, because of how us versus them things are, at we've seen this rising of like conservatism in, like, especially alt-right conservatism in
Yes.
the
Yes.
youth. And I thought initially when The Force Awakens comes out, that was going to be the main political theme that they were going to be covering, and
Hmm.
it was handled far better with Andor and Leia.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely Bloodline. Bloodline definitely handles it very, very well.
I love Bloodline
Yeah. Oh, it's a
for a
great book.
reason.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a great book.
Yeah.
It's a great book. Um, but this radicalization that we're seeing, and we're gonna continue. I'm gonna shift this back to Star Wars here in just a
Yes.
minute. But this radicalization that we're seeing came from the Tea Party in 2010.
Yeah.
Um, if you think about it, it was the Tea Party that really kicked off this radicalization, and we're seeing that in Star Wars, where you had these radical senators within the Republic that were um, kind of pushing for Palpatine's agenda.
Hmm.
Because Palpatine knew that he could manipulate those senators, and he knew that he could radicalize those senators. Brennan says most people who call themselves Christians don't behave like it. That's why I actually want to be a Christian, and not just in word but in deed. And that's the mindset too.
Yeah.
Um, and we'll get to that here in a minute, because religion does play a big thing in politics and in Star Wars, because
Hmm.
the Republic ends up politicizing the Jedi religion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a big thing that, if we go back to the horror story, the theology of the Jedi panel from
Yeah.
last Dragon Con, where
Yeah.
I was
No, go
like,
ahead.
why are we all sitting here blaming the Jedi for their own fall when they were like religiously all, like, they were genocided, guys. We
Yeah.
should not be blaming the Jedi for their own genocide, please.
Yeah. No, you blame the Republic for the genocide of the Jedi religion.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. Um, we're seeing this rise in Christian nationalism now, and we saw that rise in nationalism within the Republic in the prequel trilogy. And you see that nationalism rise in the
More
First
rational.
Order.
Yeah, it's easier to foster nationalism when you create a
Hmm.
us versus them dynamic, and you have something to try and unite people against.
Yeah.
And right now, the scapegoats that we've created are like the trans community, the
Hmm.
LGBTQ, it
Yeah.
folks like me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not fair, and
It's
that's
not
not
fair.
right. And you see it in Star Wars, where they had this us versus them mentality against aliens in Star
Mhm.
Wars. And also with the Confederacy of Independent Systems, we see that, and that's why I love Clone Wars as much as I do, because yes, while that was an animated series, it was very political.
It was very political. Like the number, some of my favorite arcs were the arcs where like Padme and like several of the other senators are trying to negotiate a peace and trying to
Yeah.
figure out how we can fix this, how we can stop the war without
Hmm.
sacrificing more millions or billions of lives
Exactly.
that have
Yeah.
been engineered to be soldiers for us.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing too. And I think if you really look at it, while Dooku was with Palpatine for the longest time, I think towards the end of the war, Dooku wanted to separate himself from Palpatine. He
Oh yeah.
wanted to just be a leader of these people.
And it's why looking at how
True, John.
Dooku and Palpatine like also train apprentices is
Yeah.
so interesting, because it shows that Dooku is doing this. He turns to the dark side genuinely out of political interests and wanting to change things.
Yeah.
Palpatine is doing this for himself.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't train his apprentices. He just kind of goes, "Oh, here, go off do this thing."
Hmm.
Well, Dooku is actually teaching.
He is. He is. And he actually cares about his apprentices as well.
He's like a little proud when Asajj Ventress shows up to try and kill him in his PJs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what better way to die than be in your PJs? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It also means that I can continue the argument with Wikipedia about the Jim Jams page.
That's for another discussion.
That's another discussion.
But we see that he's in the I mean, he's present for all parliament meetings in the Confederacy of Independent Systems, and we see that in the Clone Wars
He's
where
so deeply involved, and
yeah,
there's so much like character that you can go into, like especially with Dooku Jedi Lost here.
yeah,
So he is involved and wanting to fix things and
yes,
making change,
yeah,
and that got weaponized
it
by
does.
other people.
Palpatine weaponizes Dooku's compassion for his people.
Yeah.
Um, Hence why Dooku leaves the Jedi Order,
Hmm.
because he sees a path forward with Palpatine, and it's only in the end where he realizes that he's been used the entire time. Um, and that ultimately the Confederacy of Independent Systems is going to go bye bye.
Yeah.
And it's something that he worked his entire life for. Well, his adult life, I should
Yeah.
say. Um, yeah, and that's another thing that we're seeing more and more in Star Wars is, especially with Reign of the Empire, Mask of Fear, we're seeing the Republic or the Empire like right after the fall of the Republic, and
Yeah.
like these senators are trying to figure out where they go from here. What is the path forward? And we are in that state right now in this country where we don't know. I mean, we know what the path forward is. The
Yeah.
rational people know what the path forward is, but it's the people that are radicalized, it's the people that are buying into the narratives that they don't know the path forward. They're trying to find the path forward.
And this is why, like, be, following Tony and Dan Gilroy's examples and looking into history,
Yeah.
seeing the patterns and being able to, like, this is why English class is important, guys. You have to be able to read critically
Yeah.
because then you can see the patterns.
Hmm.
Always fact check your news. See, and like when you're reading an article, genuinely ask, what emotion are they trying to evoke from this?
Yeah. Yeah, and we see that one of the things that Alexander Freed does beautifully in The Mask of Fear is he talks about the use of the media, the use of the news services to push narratives. And he talks about it in the point of view not just of the Republic slash Empire, but there's a character that's a former separatist, and they talk about the media and the narrative within the Confederacy as well. And we're seeing that more and more in Star Wars, where these authors are they're seeing what's going on and they're applying it to these books, these stories, not only as part of the story, but as a warning, like, hey, this is happening like right now. Like this is a reflection. What's happening in Star Wars is happening right now here.
Hmm.
And Alexander Freed is the perfect he's the perfect example of that.
He really is. He like even if we go beyond the Mask of Fear, Alphabet
Yeah.
Squadron also shows
Yeah.
a fair amount of what it is like essentially being deprogrammed
Yeah.
and how it is to kind of break out of the propaganda and
Mhm.
learn kind of once again what it's like to be a little bit like of an individual.
Yeah.
And even then, it's a struggle, it is an effort. And it's even harder when you're actively in a war zone.
Yeah. Yeah, and even the Black Spire Outpost novel. by Delilah S. Dawson does that
Yeah.
with Archex, and how he was Captain Cardinal, and it's him going through that deprogramming.
Hmm.
And he defects from the First Order and joins the Resistance. And they Delilah S. Dawson does a fantastic job of showing that transformation within Archex.
Yeah.
um, I love that you bring up Alphabet Squadron, because Alexander Freed did a fantastic job of showing Erica Quell in therapy.
That's exactly why I was like, I need to talk about Alphabet Squadron because Erica is the perfect example.
Yeah,
Uh, the therapy, it's effort. She constantly is. It's never linear. It's
yeah,
she falls back on what's easier,
yeah,
and that's the hardest part. You have to make the change.
yeah.
You have to
Uh,
make your new thinking easier.
hmm and you do, and it's also about letting go of the past. Like
Yeah.
that's what that whole story is. It's about letting go of the past,
Hmm.
because even Aiden deals with that as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, it's really scary to see um what we're going through right now, and to see it reflected in Star Wars. But science fiction and fantasy have always been an allegory for what is going on. They've
Yeah.
always been an I don't know if antidote is the right word.
It is meant to hold a mirror
Yeah.
to us
Hmm.
and find some form of it's trying to propose some form of solution.
Yeah. Yeah. Um and for those of you wondering, well, what Star Wars movie would we be in right now? We're in Empire right now. We're in Empire Strikes Back right now.
Yeah,
Like like that's where we are.
that's where
Um
we are.
yeah. Um and I For those of you that are upset that we're getting political tonight, and for those of you that are thinking we keep politics out of Star Wars, we can't, because it's always been there.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and if I get nasty emails, I get nasty emails. I don't care. I'll just delete them. Whatever. Um, anyway, politics in Star Wars. I just lost my train of thought. I jumped my train tracks.
Politics in Star Wars. It's always going to be there. You
Yeah,
just think critically about what you're reading.
yeah,
You'll find
and
it.
and then for those of you that are upset at what happened to Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, the Empire did the same to Mon Mothma,
Yeah.
like in Andor. The Empire did the same to her. So,
Hmm.
um, and we saw, she ended up coming out on top after a long, grueling fight, but she ended up coming out on top. And I think that that's going to happen with Kimmel here eventually. But freedom of speech is so important. People keep
Yeah.
expressing yourselves, especially keep protesting, keep doing all of that. I want to quote Rachel Maddow real quick, because I just remember after the election, um, she said it's time to be pirates. Like it's time to really just have fun being pirates.
It's time to be pirates, and
Yeah.
ultimately, that is there are three genders in Star Wars, and that is pirate, cowboy, or samurai.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are the only three genders that matter in the Star Wars universe.
Genuinely.
Yes, yes. Um, Speaking of pirates, I did see my boy Hondo this past week. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a little bit. Um, Anything else about politics in Star Wars?
There's so much that we could get into. We'll be touching up on things in
Oh yeah.
in
Yeah.
many upcoming shows, but
Yeah.
for
Shout
overall
out.
Star shout out to Hondo, my homie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Politics and religions have always been. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're always going to be there, and
Yes, John.
that's why using Star Wars as a form of political commentary is one of my favorite forms of political commentary.
Yeah.
I like to see more of it, please. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that because we're actually going to start kicking off our road to the Force Awakens 10th anniversary here. We're
Hmm.
actually kicking that off tonight.
Yeah, maybe we should roll into that first. Perfect
Yeah, yeah,
segue.
yeah. Actually, but we are going to talk about Bloodline like
Ye-
soon.
Soon, and
Yeah.
I love Bloodlines so much.
And so we gonna get political with that one.
Yeah.
We gonna get political with that one. Yeah, so we'll just flip topic 2 and topic 3. Um,
Happy to provide that suggestion.
no, it's fine. It's fine. Um, but all in all, people, we support free speech here on the Beacon.
We do.
We support free speech. We stand with Jimmy Kimmel. Um, we are going to continue talking about Star Wars because it's something that we love.
Hmm.
We do not support what Disney did with pulling Kimmel off the air. We can still talk about this and yet still be critical of the company and their decisions
Yeah.
that have been made. What? You're going to bed? Okay. Sorry. my wife's going to bed.
Hmm.
But we can still be critical of this company while still talking about Star Wars. Um, so I just want to I just wanted to say that before we dive into the fun that is our journey to the Force Awakens here. Um, let's see here. Not the journey to the Force Awakens because that was the marketing campaign for the Force Awakens.
It's just such a good phrase.
Yes. Force Awakens is your favorite sequel, and you hope it gets re-released. I hope it does get re-released too. I really do.
Same.
Yeah, I think it would be fun for them to re-release it in December. However, they're not going to do that because of the monstrosity that is Avatar.
Yeah, it's they're probably gonna save it for a 25th anniversary release too. That will also give folks time to change their tune about the sequels.
Yes.
I know that's how it goes.
Um, there's one movie that I would love to see get re-released for its 10th anniversary, and that's Rogue One. Like, I think that would be
Be still
yeah.
my heart, yeah. But it is actually getting re-released. They're doing the special showing of Andor with Rogue One.
Yeah. What's been 5 years? I don't understand. It's been 5 years.
I don't know how long it.
It's been six since Rise.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's been almost 10 since Rogue One.
Mhm.
Um,
I do miss having a new Star Wars movie every December,
I know, but now we're gonna get them every May again.
which does line up very nicely for Star Wars Day.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does. Because we do get our first one in a while with Mando and Grogu next year.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. So let's kick off our road to the Force Awakens 10th anniversary. We're going to be talking about not Aftermath. Not yet.
Not yet. We got to
We're gonna,
build up to Jakku a little bit.
yeah. Even though we're going to kind of mention Jakku in this one.
Yeah. It's less important here.
Eh, yeah, because Jakku's like this much of that book.
When there's so much more.
when this much is a love story. Um but it's actually an earned love story.
It
Uh
is an earned love story. I do unfortunately only really regularly talk about this book uh, when I'm talking about Star Wars slang.
mm,
One of my roommates loves that in the like post uh, Civil War era, the Luke Skywalker being totally horrified by the youth slang of totally lubed, and I always counter with
totally
the
lubed.
best slang that Lost Stars has ever given us. Choobies.
Chewbies, yes, 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 Chewbies.
That's
Uh,
right. We're talking about Lost Stars by Claudia Gray.
yes. What a transition into the topic. That was amazing. Um,
ADHD. You just gotta follow the train tracks.
that's the, I'm so happy that it's two ADHD hosts for this show. Like it just makes me happy. I love this book. I really do.
I love this book. It took me a while to read purely just because
Yeah.
I don't read ebooks very often. I don't
Yeah.
have the physical copy, and I don't know why or for what reason, but we are robbed of the Star Wars audiobook for this. It did exist, and it's off all audio platforms. I have not been able to
Yeah.
find it,
Yet we had aftermath.
but we had Aftermath.
Yeah. Um I so Bren, real quick, yes, that Ray theme when she's sliding down the hill, sitting in the theater, that gave me goosebumps because
Mhm.
that's such a great scene. Really hope Lost Stars gets a continuation of some kind, especially because of the characters. I would love to see them. I would have loved for them to announce like a sequel book, like at San Diego or something,
Mhm.
from Claudia, just being like, "Hey, guess what? We were working on this the entire time, but you didn't even know."
Yeah.
Yeah, it did get a manga adaptation though.
It did, and it means that we have some lovely art of Thane
Hmm.
and Sienna, and like I understand why this is such a love story. Have you seen Sienna? She's
Yes,
gorgeous.
yes, yes, she is. Yes. I am actually going to look up how many volumes was the Lost Stars manga. It was 3 volumes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All published by Viz Media,
Hmm.
which is, yeah, one of the biggest manga publishers in the country.
Yeah, it was actually technically produced by Line, which
Yeah,
is the company that runs Webtoon, because it was put
that's
out
right.
as a webcomic
That's
and
right.
then compiled by Viz Media and Yen Press as a manga.
That's right. It was Yen Press that worked on it too. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge webcomics person, so I follow it like that. Which the Star Wars 2016 run actually just got a webtoon run as well.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I've been.
the Jason Aaron one?
Uh, Let me double check the credits because I do have it currently on my.
Okay.
I have been reading it, obviously.
Yeah, because that would be Skywalker Strikes, I think is like the first story arc for that. Thane and Sienna are one of my favorite love stories in Star Wars. It's so complex and emotional, and I want them to have a happy ending. Yeah, no, they have a very complex relationship.
Oh, sorry, it's the 2015 run. This
Yeah,
is. If I go to the credits, it will tell me who the
it
artist
should
is.
be. Well, no, Jason Aaron would be the writer.
Yeah, Jason Aaron is the writer for this. The artist for this is John Cassaday.
Oh, Cassiday's very good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're in for a treat with that run, especially like after Aaron left and Karen Gillan came on the book. That was very not to be confused with Karen Gillian or Karen. I don't know. Not to be confused with Amy Pond from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the run after wrapping up that whole run was very good too. So I highly recommend that entire run. We'll talk comics in a little bit here. But yes, Lost Stars is Romeo and Juliet set in the Star Wars universe, except they don't die.
Nope. That, in fairness, they are no longer dumb 14 and 16-year-old in Italy.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, that is true. Is this the one where Thane shares a drink with Han, I think?
uh, Thane does also appear in The Princess and the Scoundrel, so that might have been that.
Yeah. Let's see here. Um, it doesn't say. Okay. I remember Han having a. I think it's Han that has a drink with Thane in Lost Stars, because it's on Hoth, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I might be getting that confused with Twilight Company. I remember there's a drink on Hoth somewhere.
That would not have been Twilight Company.
Okay. Then it's probably this.
Yeah, because Twilight Company got me with being so deeply, like, tonally similar to The Things They Carried, which is one of my favorite Vietnam War books.
Yeah.
Uh, if you do ever want to read about Vietnam, The Things They Carried, highly recommend.
Yeah, very good, very good. Um, but yeah, this one kicks off with them being kids right before the fall of the Republic, um, and they're talking about wanting to escape and go into space, and that's when they really start developing ooh pretty boy, ooh pretty girl feelings for each other. Um, there's this book has it all, and I feel like doing the Stefan thing where he's like it has it all: action, romance, cave sex, um which it does, it
It
actually does
does.
have that. um, it has drinking with Star Wars characters.
It has pop quizzes from Grand Moff Tarkin.
I forgot about that because that's right, Sienna becomes like Tarkin's right hand for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's that pop quiz happens prior to her, like, either of them joining the military.
it
They're
does have space
children.
battles. Yeah, yeah. That's right, because I think they're from Iriadu.
They are
No, where are they from? Where
they're
are
from Jalukan. Jalukan?
Jalukan? That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Let's see here. Uh, yeah, yeah. It's an outer rim planet.
Yeah.
That's right. And then they both end up signing up for the Empire, and then Thane washes out.
Yeah, he gets disillusioned and just, just goes off, does odd jobs for a while.
Yeah, and then joins the rebellion. Um,
Yeah.
which I will say this: I like his story more in the book than I do Sienna's, but I still like hers too.
Sienna's, it definitely can be. I understand why she stays.
Yes.
They, they essentially they are. It's about class ultimately.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah, it is.
the
No, it is.
differences in their ability to stay or leave
Yes,
the
buddy.
empire is entirely about class.
Hmm.
Uh, because if she leaves, if she washes out and abandons the imperial military, everything will look worse for her
Yes.
because her family is not, like, of the elite. She is poor. She will be considered, like, not able to do it because of where she came from rather
Hmm.
than who she is as a person and her ideals.
Yes, that is true. And yes, John, Sienna is very tragic, and yeah, I mean we're all supposed to feel bad for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um I'm rereading the dossier on Thane right now. And I say dossier. He After he spent some time as a co-pilot navigator of the Wookiee Logera, Thane joined Corona Squadron, which was an X-wing fighter squadron, where he fought in the Battle of Hoth, the Battle of Endor, and the Battle of Jakku. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, that's right. He was in space over Endor when Death Star 2 went poof. Um, I say poof. And then he rescued Sienna during the Battle of Jakku, where he boards her
Mhm.
Star Destroyer right before it crashes and ends up saving her.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then let's see here. Um, yeah, they yeah, go. Talk.
I just got like the reminder of when we're talking about like the Corona Squadron, the reminder of how like one of the like little bitty ways that they reference Romeo and Juliet is rather than having Paris the Count, they have Contessa
Yes.
in Thane's squadron. Uh,
Yes.
it's just like small little like, oh yeah, we are. And this is an entire reference to an Italian people thing. Let's have some Italian titles thrown in for
Hmm.
aliases.
Yes. Um, yeah. So if you're wondering how Thane gets out of the Empire, there's an incident known as the uh, laser cannon incident,
Yeah.
which happens at the academy during training exercise, in which Thane is convicted and Sienna is set free due to a classmate and the pool that this classmate has.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. Let's see here. Um, I'm just looking at his thing here. Yeah, so Thane's recruited by Wedge to
Yeah.
join the rebellion. Um, let's see here. No, he was friends with Dak. Thane was friends with Dak. That's who he shared the
There
drink
we
with.
go.
Yes.
Yeah. I do love the laser cannon instant because it is the ultimate like nail in the coffin for Thane's loyalties, the discovery
Yes.
that the laser cannon incident is set up to test each of their loyalties and drive their loyalty towards the Empire.
Yep.
It's meant to tear them apart
Hmm. Yeah, because they see the connection between Thane and Sienna, and they use that as an exploit.
because any individuality is a threat to the control that fascism is like has.
Hmm. What does
Hmm.
that remind me of? Hmm. Hmm.
Nemec.
Not happening nowadays.
I'm just thinking about Nemec.
Well, yeah, Nemec. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We didn't even touch on that. Um, yeah,
What's really cool is Robert Reich, former Secretary of Labor, did
yes.
actually react to that scene, that
I
excerpt from his.
I reposted that on Instagram. I watched it on Instagram and reposted it. It was a great video. It was a
It's a great
great video.
video.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Sienna because we're talking about Thane way too much?
So Sienna is someone who is near and dear to me as like as someone just who just has many friends who are
Hmm.
from like small towns and like one of my best friends lives is from and still lives in Durant, which is
Hmm.
a incredibly small town in Oklahoma. And so we get to like talk about and see real time how being in these small communities that don't get a whole lot of attention or like resources
Hmm.
can actually lead to radicalization and
Yes.
a whole lot of these other like aspects of things that we see in Sienna's story.
Hmm.
So from the moment she like makes it into the Imperial Naval Academy, it is one of those things of I am doing this not just to represent me, but to represent where I am from.
Hmm. Yeah.
Everything that she does is a reflection of her home planet,
Yeah.
and it's why it would be an insult to everything she stands for to fail and to leave the Empire.
Hmm.
And so she just ends up stuck.
Yeah, she does because she doesn't ultimately she doesn't share the beliefs of the empire.
No, she doesn't.
No. She's just doing it as a way to escape her home planet.
Hmm.
Yeah. Because she thinks, "Oh, it's not going to be that bad." And then like she truly sees the horrors of war.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's going to need she's going to need a lot of help.
A lot of therapy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was. Oh, also real quick, Thane decided to get drunk on jet juice, and then that's when he bumped into Mon Mothma.
I love jet juice.
They wait, do they serve it in the parks? I don't remember. I was just at Oga's.
Hold on. Let's see.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up as
I just
you
threw a
knock
candle off the
everything down.
shelf.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that.
Yeah.
I heard that. Yeah, yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. No, they do. They
They
do have jet
do.
juice. Yes, I
Because
should have
it's
gotten
one
that.
of the hyperdrive is what I like to drink, but yeah, jet
Yeah,
juice is one of the recipes I believe I have.
yeah. The jet juice is Maker's Mark bourbon, Ancho Reyes chili liqueur, Steering's pomegranate liqueur, white grape juice, and lemon juice.
Yep.
So, and I'm sorry that you knocked down your candle.
It's okay. It's a cast iron candlestick, so it's not broken or anything.
Yes,
It's just
yes.
loud.
But this is I think this was my first Claudia Gray Star Wars story, and I fell in love with her writing. I absolutely fell in love with her writing.
She does a level of especially that youthful
Yes.
uh it's the youthful young and in love writing that we see a little bit of this with Reith in
Oh,
uh
and Nan.
Reith and Nan too, which is like where I first saw my that talent that Claudia Gray
Yeah.
has, where it's wonderful. She can really put her like writing into the mindset of
Hmm.
someone who's young and inexperienced, but in a way that does not feel like a lot of the cut and paste like YA novels.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Oh, real quick, I just want to do a quick tie-in to The Force Awakens. Dakar is actually in this novel as well.
Oh,
Because Corona Squadron does a reconnaissance flight of Dakar.
yeah.
Yeah. Um anyway, um what was I gonna say? She does character writing and emotion so well compared to the other writers whose work I read. Not that I'm saying they're worse than Gray. Yeah, you are.
Yeah, it and it's okay to say that. Some authors have certain skills that they do better.
Yeah.
Like if I want, and this is a thing that Star Wars authors talk about. Like if you want, if you want a whole lot of starship battles, you go to Alexander Freed, you go
Oh,
to Timothy Zahn.
absolutely.
If you want a whole lot of like politics, uh, there are certain authors you go to. If you want stuff with the clones, like Karen Travis
Hmm.
is, or like especially with Mandalorian culture, you go to Karen Travis. If
Yeah.
you want angry women, you go to Delilah S. Dawson.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Um yeah, I will also say this about Claudia Gray real quick. She does a fantastic job of not only writing YA but writing adult novels as well in the Star Wars universe. Because if you look at Master and Apprentice and of course The Fallen Star, hey
Mhm.
Tyler, what's going on? They are both just wonderful,
Yeah,
wonderful books that she's written, even though I still haven't forgiven her for the death of Stellan Geos. Um
none of us have. It's okay.
um
I made cookies to commemorate Loden's death,
I
though.
I I remember you did that. I remember you did that. Yeah. So Lost Stars is this was actually this kicked off the whole Journey to the Force Awakens thing. I remember Force Friday,
Hmm.
when all that merch came out and everything. I camped out at the Disney store right near my house so that I could pick up the Elite Series
Yeah.
figures that were die cast and super freaking heavy.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then I went to Barnes and Noble and picked up both Lost Stars and Aftermath.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Hmm.
It was a good time. Anything else about Lost Stars? Even though you pretty much see the entire trilogy.
There's like little bits, but I I I like that even though we have Thane and Sienna, it's the whole like rebellion versus empire thing. Even
Yeah.
then, we see both of them waver in their standings a
Oh
lot.
yeah.
Even Sienna, like despite everything I have said about her ending up stuck,
Hmm.
she does still waver with her loyalty and like
Hmm.
goes back home and sees the empire's effect on her home firsthand,
Uh
where
huh.
like the difference between the first and second waivers going from having distinctly different clothing to
Yeah.
all of a sudden looking the same, and how the empire's control has like stripped away
Hmm.
aspects of their culture.
Hmm.
Claudia Gray, thank you
Hmm.
for
Well, I mean, we saw that in Rebels also. Like we saw that in
yeah,
Rebels. We saw that in a lot of other projects, but Claudia just really drove it home in that, and that's also when we get them hooking up again.
yeah,
Yeah,
the cave sex.
cave sex. Um, I remember reading that for the first time, and I was like, okay, okay, this is happening. Like,
It's a very important romanticy trope, don't you understand?
no, it is. Um, but I will say this: they do not go in graphic detail at all.
No,
Yeah.
no. Star Wars will always remain a fade to black
Hmm.
series when it comes to sexual
Yes.
content.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nash Windrider is one of the most interesting characters to me, especially his downward spiral into his loyalty to the Empire and desiring order. I hope we see him again. Yeah, yeah, he's a great part of the end of the book, especially when the Empire is trying to regroup after Jakku and
Hmm.
they're in the unknown regions. Like that to me is really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What, Pickle? What do you want? Where are you? I don't know. He's around here somewhere. I can't believe this novel's 10 years old.
Yeah. I need to reread it because unfortunately I'm like Windrider and I'm just like, ah yes, the nice guy.
Yeah, yeah. He was the nice guy. That is true. That is very
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Now I gotta see where Thane was in Princess and the Scoundrel. Oh, is he at the bachelor party?
I think he's at the bachelor party. The
Okay.
one that gets
Okay.
crashed by the Ewoks.
That's still one of my favorite parts of that book.
I I need to make my friends read it so bad.
It's such a great book. It's such a
It's
great book.
it's such a great book.
It's it's so fun and doesn't take itself seriously.
It doesn't, and
No.
that's the best part about it.
Yeah. Now I will say this, Lost Stars definitely takes itself seriously, but it's telling a very serious story.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
it the most important thing you can do as an author is know what you have to take seriously and what you can't.
Yeah. Yep. That is true. Um that's right. Because that's right. They also tied in the manga, they actually tie in Iden Versio
Oh,
into it because of the at the Battle of Jakku. They tie Iden
yeah.
into it because she's at the Battle of Jakku, but with the rebellion at that point,
Yeah.
or the New Republic, I should say, at that point.
Yeah.
Um, oh yeah, that's right. So according to the dossier here. It also says barely after a year of Endor, Thane and his fellow Corona pilots took part in the defense of the planet Naboo, helped beat back the Imperial fleet. This marked the third attempt made by the Empire to attack Naboo,
Mhm.
which had joined the New Republic. Following the dogfight, Yendor invited Thane and other pilots to visit the Gungan city of Otagunga in order to taste a dessert that took at least 4 hominids to eat. However, Thane politely declined his friend's offer because he was still mourning Sienna. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Unaware that she had survived Endor. That's right, because he thinks that she dies on Death Star 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's what I call it, Death Star 2 Electric Boogaloo. Um,
It's good.
yeah. Anyway, they eventually meet up on Jakku, which the dialogue here is amazing, where they're kind of in a fight, and Thane says, "You want to play this rough? Fine, we'll play rough." Sienna says, "Get your rebel ass off my bridge." And then Thane says, "I'm going to rescue you whether you like it or not."
You are being rescued. Please do not resist. I
Yes, yes, yes. We could go on and on about Lost Stars. It's a great
yeah,
book. The only problem is with talking about this book this late after, we kind of forget some stuff.
exactly. It's
Yeah,
like, but there's so much good stuff.
there
Please
is.
read.
Yeah, yeah. When we get to the 10th anniversary of Last Jedi, we are going to actually talk about the Leia novel too. We're going to talk about that.
Leia,
Uh,
Princess of Alderaan. Yeah.
yeah, written by Claudia Gray.
hmm
Um, OMG, I forgot about the tension between Thane and Sienna. I really want a continuation of that now more than ever.
The
Yeah,
book is all about the tension between
yeah.
Pain and Sienna.
There's so much tension.
It's ultimately a romance novel. It's
It
Star Wars'
it
first romance novel.
it is Star Wars' first romantasy novel because it is a
yeah,
romantasy.
it is a romantasy. It's just
Yeah.
also like a space opera, and it's also Romeo and Juliet.
hmm But I will say this book does a hell of a job of actually incorporating the original trilogy into it.
yeah, and that's like that has over time become more and more challenging
Yes.
simply because of how there's a whole lot with the movies that authors have to be careful around just
Yes.
in case that like Lucasfilm finds out that they want to do another project.
hmm
They got way more insight on this from one of the panels at Dragon Con, which is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. I got a lot of insight into it too with the Lamar Giles
Yeah.
Q&A I went to. Because like he was talking about that with Bad Batch and how like the story group's like, well, you can't do this
Yeah.
and you can't do this.
hmm
And he's just like, well, can I do this?
Yeah.
they're like, sure.
hmm
Um, yeah. So, but no, this is this. I love this book. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Let's move on because con season is in full swing. Somebody went to Dragon Con. I don't know who did.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who did. Let me
It wasn't you.
definitely not me.
Yeah.
I mean, why else would I have a growing collection of ribbons?
I love con ribbons.
they, I always forget every year to like actually make a con ribbon. I had a
Yeah.
design and then I forgot to order it in time. But now I have to order them in December, so I do not forget.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Con ribbons are the best because it's like kind of a game at the convention.
It does, and like you end up. I reach a point where it my ending point is if I have my badge hanging from my belt. If
Mhm.
the ribbons are hitting the floor, that's where I start extending to the side.
At that point, you just tie it around you.
Yeah. So like obviously by the time of the Doctor Who ball,
Mhm.
I was running out of space because that's where Moisturize Me went.
Moisturize me.
There
Okay,
was a really good Cassandra.
I have to ask. Did Barrowman crash the Doctor Who ball?
Uh, not during the time I was there.
Okay.
I was basically there up until they announced to be winners of the Doctor Who costume contest to like cheer
Okay.
on my sister. Uh,
Okay.
he was at the ball or he was at the convention, but was not looking great. I think he needed some rest.
Yeah, he's been through a lot
Yeah.
lately. Yeah. Yeah. He's been through a lot lately.
hmm
Yeah. I saw a post of him on Instagram of him in the TARDIS dress that he normally rocks, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Um And that's a whole nother story with him.
That is, yeah.
So Dragon Con, you went mostly for Star Wars fun.
Mostly for Star Wars fun. I actually ended up going over to a couple of other events too.
Hmm.
Uh, the the big non Star Wars thing I did is I just disappeared for 3 hours. No one in in my group knew where I was because I was at a it was called Unleashing the Sapphire Dragon, and it was a Regency like cotillion slash ball.
Okay.
So I'd like you to imagine full Salandra show doing Regency court dancing
Ooh.
because I like doing a lot of historical dance.
Hmm.
I do Italian and like 15th century court dancing, which is very similar to Regency dance, spicy walking.
Why is he walking?
So I went and danced for about 3 hours at a ball, which was very fun.
Nice. Nice. I'm glad you were able to do that, though. I'm glad you
The
were able to do that.
Yeah, the other like big non-Star Wars thing I went to was a lit RPG like writing panel
Hmm.
uh that was not hosted by Matthew Dineman, but he
Ah,
showed up anyways.
nice.
uh which is lit RPG is a genre of fantasy novels that I had
Hmm.
fantasy and sci-fi that I had gotten into recently due to Dungeon Crawler Carl,
Hmm.
and it seems to have had like a major explosion in
Yeah.
popularity, and there were 70 Carls and at least 4 Princess Donuts at Dragon Con.
So I haven't read Dungeon Crawler Carl yet. It's on my list because I really want to experience it.
It is it takes a little bit to get into it.
Hmm.
You start off and Carl has the like kind of tough guy humor that
Hmm.
is mostly a protective shell, and you learn more about Carl, you learn more about everything that's going on, and it is at its core an anti-capitalist piece of media. And by the end of the third book, you have a solid idea of what's going on.
Mm. From what I hear, like a lot of people compare Dinnaman to like Douglas Adams in a way, like with Hitchhiker's Guide and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. Um,
Oh yeah,
but
it started off as a book. I'm on like
mm,
book 5,
oh
John.
wow,
Uh, the webtoon is starting off at the very beginning of book 1. There are 7 books in total.
you know there's going to be like an anime adaptation of this at some point.
Unfortunately, yes, and I'm not ready for that amount of feet. There's already enough feet in Dandadan.
I don't understand people's obsession with feet, but that is for a different topic. That's for the after hours.
That is for the
Um,
after hours. I don't want to get into that either. But
so
yeah,
yeah, Star Wars programming.
Star Wars programming.
Yeah,
Uh,
but no, your ribbons first. Sorry, you were going to show off
no,
your ribbons.
I mean mostly it's just the look at the collection. It's much bigger than last year.
Yeah.
Uh, and I would like to note that from about this point on is ribbons that were given to me while like running and being one of the people on a Star Wars panel.
Nice.
So we've got 2 Niyamas, we've got a bunch of I Have Friends Everywhere, Peace, Love, and Jawas, and Nash Bidum Gore is this last one with
Yeah.
We Are the Gore
Nice.
underneath.
Nice. Brennan says as long as your Regency dancing didn't turn into an episode of Bridgerton.
No, no, we were all very polite.
Okay, that's good.
There was no untoward activities in a wagon.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Uh, but Star Wars paneling, every year there's some really amazing topic panels that get
Hmm.
put on by the Star Wars at Dragon Con team.
Yes.
We started out with frankly, one of my favorites, which was the High Republic panel. Uh,
Nice.
this one was actually put on the schedule by he would feel like he was the least experienced probably because he was on there with Alex from Star Wars Explained
Oh
and
God.
several other like Star Wars content creators, and he was like, "My name's Will. I work at NASA."
I will.
But it was a really good overview of the High Republic and how all the panelists and the audience themselves
Hmm.
uh like basically looking at it as a whole and kind of pondering on phase more, which is the best phrasing I have fully yoinked it and it's a part of my vocabulary now for
Yeah.
additions to the era now that we have completed the main arc.
Yeah, I would in phase more, I would actually put the acolyte stuff in there, and I
Mhm.
would put Jedi Survivor in there.
I would definitely agree with that. I also
Hi, buddy.
the thing I desperately want from a phase more would definitely be more on the Evereni. I'd like to see what happens to Yana Ro.
Yeah.
Uh, I want to see more about the Evereni, the fall of their civilization, what it's like for the diaspora now,
Hmm.
because I do not trust the Ro family. They're not reliable
Hmm.
narrators.
Yeah. No, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree.
There's also so the High Republic one was really fun. We basically, since I that was one of the days I was dressed up as Salandra, got yoinked by a bunch of Rebel Legion guys. It was like, I know you're not Legion. However, we're going to get a picture with all the High Republic era Jedi here.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And that's also how it kind of went with the like massive Star Wars photo shoot. We did the same, like kind of tried to gather together. So there's this corner of gold robes.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, other really fun panels are what was one that was Star Wars Pirates and Cowboys,
Oh
which,
yeah.
yeah, which is all about your favorite pirates and cowboys and what really creates the difference between the two because oftentimes the aesthetics end up similar in Star Wars,
Hmm.
and so that's where we get the good guys versus the bad guys. Where if you're a bad guy in Star Wars, you're a pirate. If you're a good guy in Star Wars, you're a cowboy.
Yeah, it's green pew pew versus red pew pew.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That actually sounds like it's fun. That
It
that one sounds.
it was a really fun panel, and I had like joked about, especially when Revenge of the Sith came through theaters. There were three genders: Jedi, Sith, and Slimo,
Mhm.
because of how my roommates and I had all dressed with one of them in their Sith jersey, me as a Jedi, and then my friends with random costume pieces from our garb wardrobes as the most 1970s Slimo looking guy you could meet.
If you want to dress Ollie up as an Ewok, go right ahead, Zach. You go right ahead and dress my nephew up as an Ewok. I don't need see why you think you need my permission to do that.
I think that's adorable.
Yeah,
Dress more babies up as Ewoks. That's what
he
I
did.
say.
He did get a Nubs hoodie on this trip. My sister in law, his mom.
Mhm.
So my wife's sister. Um, she went to one of the discount outlets and got him a Nubs thing. Just yeah,
Good.
yeah. Anyway, back to Dragon Pod. Um,
Like there are so many good panels.
mhm,
One of the like final ones that I went to was the biggest. Like I'll get into Star Wars trivia after this,
mhm.
but this one took so much time and effort to prepare for. It is part of a panel series I discovered called The Language of Rebellion.
Oh, nice.
And so head of the panel was actually someone who had learned and basically figured out many key phrases in one other. I don't remember what show or which conlang it was, which The fact I hadn't heard of this conlang itself is a little impressive. But then, this one was on the language of the gore.
Yeah, you were telling me about that one.
This one, I need to explain the setup because it shows just the detail and time that went into it. It was one where instead of just being people at a convention learning the language, we are agents sent by the rebellion
Love
and
this.
are being planted as civilians or like recently transplanted
Yeah,
people to the Gorman planet.
yeah.
We had banners set up. If you like volunteered to like stand up and practice one of the like conversation pieces, you
Mm.
got a band of the Gorman resistance.
Oh, that's really cool.
It was really cool. And finally, when we ended the panel, we learned we are the Gore.
Oh, the
And
song.
this is where I have the video for you.
Yeah, go ahead. Hit us with the video. You know how to share it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit us with the video. That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, got it. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, it's not coming up, Faye.
There we go.
Yeah, it's not coming up.
Hold on, let me.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, I was like, I have this pulled up. Surely. Nope. Let me pull this up properly. This is going to be something. I have the links. I can just pull it up through there. Because it
Yes.
doesn't want to also share audio from another window. So
What pickle? What?
you're not paying enough attention.
Apparently, I'm not. He's giving me such a face tonight.
There we go. Full screen there. Okay, I will.
Yep, you should be able to share it. Yeah, yeah. Here we go. Here we go. All right, we're actually going to. There you go. I love the Thrawn that's there.
I know.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, it was one of those moments of before this got filmed, we ended the class actually by singing and marching out. So what I didn't get to like edit together, unfortunately, was the two angles, one from one of the Star Wars at Dragon Con, like uh basically track leaders,
Hmm.
and from my phone in the crowd,
Hmm.
as like I'm part of the crowd marching out, and they're like filming us march out into the hallway. So that was like that was
Oh,
essentially an encore performance of us marching and singing the Gore national anthem.
I love that so much.
It was great. I was went to that class essentially with two of my other co-hosts of the Fashion of Andor panel.
Hmm.
One of whom is that we are the Gore guy with the protester sign, uh, which that panel was super awesome
Hmm.
to run, and I'm going to be doing more panels at Dragon Con, I think, going forward, but with several ideas in the works. Uh, we had folks who had been professional costumers, worked on several other sci-fi shows, and who had been in the industry for at least 12 years.
Hmm.
We had folks who have also been on Star Wars podcasts. Uh, our Gorman protester, who is the reason we had that panel, uh,
Hmm.
who didn't have much fashion or like costume experience, but really cared about the politics of it.
Hmm.
And then there's me, and I was like, I have clothes in a museum, and I guess that makes me qualified to talk about clothing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, true. That's
Uh,
that's fantastic.
yeah, it was one of those moments of I was freaking out and feeling utterly unqualified until I started my introduction, and then it was like I was up here with y'all.
Mhm. So yeah, I do have to talk about that. As somebody with ADHD, like you, like me,
Mhm.
um, did you feel um yeah, that's true, John. Your hard work did pay off very well, and I mean, I am so proud of you. Like seriously, I really am. Did you feel intimidated, like taking on a panel?
Deeply.
Yeah.
It's one of those where I was like, I have notes so that way I have information to pull from.
Hmm.
I rarely ever plan an outline for like what we want to talk about. I go based off of the big headlines you give me and just add in information I think I can throw in for
I'll
flavor.
I'll start working on that more for you, and for
No,
myself.
no, I like the vague titles because then we can ramble as our brain trains take us.
Yes, yes. No, I
uh,
like that too.
and so like it was one of those. I was very overwhelmed.
Mhm,
My father came to Dragon Con, which
mm,
was his first convention ever,
mhm,
and I was the only thing that was keeping me from having to actually take my anxiety meds was kind of the mental thing of like, okay, it's Sunday. It is the morning after last party at Alderaan. Everyone's gonna be hungover and not want to show up.
mhm.
And then we get to start the start of the panel, and it is standing room only.
That's incredible, though.
It was absolutely incredible and unreal, and I did not know what to do with it until I
Mhm,
started talking, and then I could go into this mode.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. That's it's tough doing a panel at a convention, like a panel
Yeah,
that big and at a convention that big.
it yeah, it was tough, but we had really good conversation flowing. We
Mhm,
The audience kept throwing us really good questions,
mhm,
like the ones about the chains that we see Mon and Luthen wear.
mhm,
They're the chains of office there are really fun, and can also be like symbolic of like being tied to a certain appearance when they're in those Coruscant roles.
Hmm.
Really fun.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I'm proud of you though. Really proud of you because you did a hell of a job. You really did.
There will be more.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the other thing too. Like once you get one under, like it's kind of like I want to do more.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I came back and was uh, already going like, oh yeah, I could do something on like, uh, one of my favorite things is like weird alien biology
Hmm.
things about Star Wars, like
Hmm.
the fact that Togruta are, at least in Legends, carnivorous.
Hmm.
Uh, th- One of the things that my sister actually realized after talking to people after that was the first time she'd ever gone to a Star Wars panel
Hmm.
and didn't really know how much extra Star Wars content there was.
Hmm.
So she went into that and then came out and just looked at me and said, "Could you do something on like the various fandoms within Star Wars?" I didn't realize how much there was.
Hmm. Oh my god, I love that idea.
Yeah. And so I think that's going to be what I pitch to the Star Wars at DragonCon track.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, I wish I could go to Dragon Con with you next year and do that. It would be so much fun.
What's stopping you?
Money.
Fair, fair.
Other trips that I may or may not have already planned,
Okay, okay.
but I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
One day you have to
One
make a
day.
Dragon Con. Because
Oh,
then we can do a Starlight Beat Transmissions show
yes. We
from
need to
Dragon
save
Con.
for celebration. We do need to save for celebration, John.
We
That is
do.
that is true. That
That
is
is
true.
true.
Yeah, because I'm telling you right now, my wallet is hurting. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like I'm gonna go get groceries this week, and my wallet is probably gonna give me the middle finger. Like after I go and get
There's like a
groceries.
little
Like,
puff of dust.
oh yeah,
A little moth
for
flies out.
sure. Yeah, for sure. Um, no, I would love to do that. Um, because and that's such an interesting topic too, because you've got the Mandalorian fandom, you've got Rebels fandom, Clone Wars fandom, High Republic fandom.
You've got the Chiss fans.
Yeah,
You've
oh,
got the
I can't.
Old Republic fans. Like
Mm-hmm.
even if we get to the Old Republic, you have the like revanchists versus the Sith fans and all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff.
Oh yeah, and then you've
Yeah.
got you've got the Bane enthusiasts.
Oh my god.
You've got all of them. Like yeah, and I forgot about Chiss and Shisser. I guess we could call it Chiss Twitter Shisser.
Just Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're like just Twitter was my introduction to Thrawn, which then
Hmm.
led to me reading all of the Ascendancy novels, going, I can't imagine Samacro without imagining him having this like he got has got to bench like 450
Oh,
pounds in my brain because
have you, actually, let me pull up an image real quick.
I think I know the image you're about to
No,
pull up.
no, 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 no. You don't. This is going to be in comparison to something else.
Okay, okay.
Hold on. Um, yeah. Let me just. Yeah. This is. Yeah. This is a good one. Um, hold on. Let me. Let me just show this image here. Yeah. Okay. So this is from the DC Comics website. Um,
Oh no.
this is This is what I think of when I see some macro. Like I just think of this Batman.
You know what? Fair. I will after the show in our Discord put a picture of what I imagine whenever
Yeah,
whenever some macro is mentioned
but I just
because
yeah, go.
uh yeah, it's one of those I the fandoms affect how you come to these characters and how you start to imagine them, and it really is a fun way of interacting with the story.
Hmm.
So it's fun to engage with the broader fandom.
Yeah, but yeah, I see Samacro like as like this giant like himbo Jim bro
Yeah.
with a Jack Nicholson accent. Like
It's not wrong.
Senior Captain Thrawn. Like imagine having money. Yeah, John, imagine having money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely couldn't imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. So hi T-Spans. Meow. There we go. T-Spans is here, everybody. T-Spans. God, meowing. Um, what
Uh,
was I gonna
the
say?
last thing,
Yeah,
the last really fun and interesting thing was actually going to a panel that had several Star Wars authors. It had Kevin
yeah.
Anderson, it had
Mm.
Alexander Freed, it
Oh,
had Timothy Zahn, and Delilah S. Dawson all on it.
it's a great lineup.
I went in just like, okay, I want to see what they talk about with like the various like developmental things, stuff like
Hmm.
that. And then for the Q&A, I was just gonna ask Timothy Zahn something I had asked him through Facebook several years ago
Uh-huh.
that I never received an answer on it, which was like, how does the Chiss expansionary defense fleet uniform close? Because we see it from front and back, and it does not make sense to close at all. I think it's spandex. But beyond that, it was such a really fun and interesting panel when
Mm,
Delilah S. Dawson was talking about like what Lucasfilm generally comes to each of these different authors for.
mhm,
She That's when she made the like, oh yeah, if you want angry women, you come to me. And
mhm.
no joke, Kevin Anderson just scooched his chair away. It's like protecting.
Mm,
uh, Stuff like that. That's where they talk about how if Lucasfilm is like working on other things, they'll
mhm.
just say we can't go near that right now,
Yeah,
which is a part of why Timothy Zahn has not had any recent books. He's got a couple pitches, but Lucasfilm is not scheduling those meetings yet
yeah,
because we have to see how things like the Heir to the Empire movie are going to work out with the story group.
yeah, yeah. That's true. Yeah, I remember him talking about that at Awesome Con a couple of years ago too, like
Hmm.
how he had like a few pitches and everything, and that he was waiting for them to set the meetings up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he said something like he said something along the lines about wanting to possibly do like a Chiss story like set in the High Republic era.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that would be really interesting.
I think that would be interesting, especially since he talked a lot about how with Legends basically being decanonized, it allowed him the freedom to go back and basically go, "This isn't how economies work at the
Hmm.
Chiss,"
Hmm.
uh, and so he got to rewrite the lore to
Yeah.
basically make the economy and the government make a little bit more sense.
Hmm.
And so I think he would relish the chance to world build the Chiss ascendancy beyond
Hmm.
Thrawn.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like I want to know about their religions. I want to know about like what happened to the planet Chila, where like they all had to go underground and
Love to
all the.
see like Sheila pre disaster.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's similar to like one of those situations where it's like with Superman wanting to see Krypton like in its heyday, like before
Yeah,
its destruction. Yeah.
it's one of those things, and there's a lot, and they clearly do have a strong enjoyment of having somebody else to basically manage the canon
Hmm.
beyond them, so that
Yeah.
way they don't have to like stop mid writing and call one of these other authors, and you're like, hey, what were you doing with this? Great, can
Hmm.
I kill him?
Yes, when
Yeah.
it's already established that, yeah, you can do a story with this person, but like earlier or.
Yeah, having these guidelines does help a whole lot.
Mm,
I got to sit during this panel with the three hosts of the Rogue Three podcast, and it was
mhm,
really great meeting them and getting to know them a little bit over the weekend.
mhm,
Uh, then Q&A time finally came up, and I had just realized, no, I don't want to ask this question about the uniform. He's not going to have an answer for me that I'll like.
Yeah, yeah. He's just gonna
So,
be like, "Oh, what do you think it's made of?"
and I will just be dying in costumer. Uh, so instead, I proposed the question of all of you have worked a whole lot with these various characters,
Mhm,
including like Palpatine over the years. What
mhm,
do you like think of when it comes to like these more static characters and the thought of characters as plot devices, like
mhm,
Palpatine frequently is used, and
mhm.
all of them are just like, please don't make us talk about this. Because Palpatine is a plot device. We all know this.
He's a MacGuffin. Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Somehow Palpatine has returns, that sort of
yeah.
thing.
I, that's still a decision that hasn't sat well with me in the sequels, but I get why they did it.
I get why they did it. The stuff that we are seeing with the cloning plots of Mandalorian has actually helped it a lot with me. Seeing it
Mhm.
being
Yeah,
used,
yeah,
seeing parts of it in Shadow of the Sith and
yeah.
stuff like that. Basically, we're seeing it get the treatment that was done with a lot of things that people did not enjoy in the prequels, where the books are filling it out.
Yeah, and I get it, and I'm enjoying it more and more. Um, but
I do like to make fun of it though,
oh, me too.
because Oscar Isaac looks so disgusted as he says it.
Also, just real quick about that movie and Oscar Isaac. My favorite bit is still they fly now, and then he's like, "Yeah, they fly now." Like,
Yeah, they fly now.
I love sassy Poe Dameron.
I love Sassy Poe Dameron too.
Sassy Poe's the best Poe. But that's awesome. I'm glad that you had a good time at Dragon Con. It's so dumb that it loops to be funny. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, but I'm glad that you had a good time at Dragon Con.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's such a good like it's a party, it's a
Oh yeah,
convention. There are so many like fun things that you can just do, like walking around the floor. Like
yeah.
one of them, well, I was in going over to Netherworld, which is basically the booth that is my home. I consider it home base because
Hmm.
it's the pan it's the booth for my sister's haunted house. So
Nice.
everyone kind of knows me and knows that if I'm here, I'm probably looking for my sister.
Hmm.
There was a flock of about 20 to 30 people there, just like Florida Man. And as like people were walking by, they would start hyping them up and like
Oh,
seeing what they would do in response. And after they would hype people up, they would give people a ribbon that says you got hyped.
you got I
it, it,
Florida man.
it's those little things that you walk up on like organically. There was a Plinko tournament that I walked upon at
From the
one point.
Price is Right.
Yes, there was not one, not two, but three different Genu shrines from K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh God.
One of them was in the Sky Bridge, and I do have a picture of a girl dressed as as Rumi in her like pajamas, sitting down next to the Genu shrine in the Sky Bridge.
Wow.
Dragon Cons does not take itself seriously, and this is
No.
why it's amazing.
3G news shrines. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
because you had to have. There were two in the Marriott. One was in the Sky Bridge. The other one was on the 10th floor. I found another one. I forgot where because it was so. At that point, it was so late in the night.
Yeah.
I had walked 13 miles that day. I was exhausted.
John, I wouldn't say it's the Saja boys taking people's souls. It's more Huntrix taking people's souls right now.
Yeah,
Just saying.
yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
But Dragon Con is both a massive party and also a really fun celebration of nerddom, and that's why I think at some point it's something that anyone should try to go to.
Yeah, it's on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to go just for the literary programming, honestly.
The literary programming is amazing. I didn't go to really any actor panels. I wanted to go to the author panels.
Yeah.
Uh, and then, of course, the fun programming with just other people talking about things that you're a fan of.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
then,
yeah.
of course, this year I was just like, okay, fine, guys, I'm gonna do a Rebel Legion costume. So I'm working on that now.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Um, yeah, I also really want to meet John Jackson Miller.
Oh my god, he's so funny.
Um, not not for his Star Wars work.
Understandable.
I want to talk to him about his two Batman novels, and one's about to come out. But like, I want to talk about his other one that had Clayface in it because it was really good. It was really good.
I understand.
Yeah, yeah. I've read some of his Trek stuff. Some of his Trek stuff is actually very well done too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like John Jackson Miller. He's a good writer. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, um, that's it
Yeah.
for tonight.
That's all our main topics.
Yeah, thank you for
S-
sticking with us.
Yeah. I'm frankly a little surprised that we got through everything in less than 2 hours. That's
Me too.
abnormal for us.
Me too. Yeah, yeah. Especially with how lengthy the top of the show was.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, to recap, um, support freedom of speech.
Support freedom of speech. If you want to know ways that do not include canceling Disney
Hmm.
Plus as a way of showing your support for Kimmel, just DM me.
Yeah.
I have plenty of thoughts and
Hmm.
ideas that are going to be frankly more effective than taking away like $15 a month from Disney.
Yeah. Um, yeah. We'll talk about that probably after the show because there's it's it's neat that there's a boycott.
Yeah,
However, it plays into more nefarious hands, in my opinion. Um, Also, support your local libraries. Like
yeah.
if you're going to boycott Disney Plus, go for it. And just get that physical media from your local library. Yeah.
Frankly, because local libraries are going to be are frankly the first places affected
Yep.
by this sort of stuff, and the
Yep.
more we can basically justify them continuing to get funding by their usage,
Hmm.
the better off we all are.
Yep. I will also say support PBS and NPR.
Yes. PBS has just had a bunch of funding pulls. Please, please help them.
Yes, and support NPR, please, because that is a very neutral news organization that does care about getting the facts out to people. So,
Hmm.
um, and that's another thing. I'm just going to say this real quick. Please, 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 when you're looking at the news, get all of the facts before you jump to conclusions. Please, please, please. That's all I'm going to say. Also, watch The Newsroom. It's on HBO Max and it's amazing. So if you
Yeah.
haven't watched it, please do so because it's incredible. Because actually, it talks about this sort of thing right now. Um, Other than that, that is that. I'm going to hop into Discord here in just a minute to do our after hours. Yeah,
Same.
yeah, yeah. So I'm going to post the link to Discord again here real quickly. So please join our Discord. We would love to have you where we can just goof off and chill out and all that fun stuff.
Hmm.
So um, yeah. And we'll let you know when the next show is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it for us. So we'll see y'all later. May the force be with you. Just remember at the end of the day, we're all the Republic and we love you. Goodbye.